What's up, guys? It's your boy Stas here. Got my good old Starbucks today. Yeah, I'm ashamed to admit they got me again, guys. I got a tall iced brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso. Geez, that's a mouthful. I got an extra shot of espresso in here. You guys know how I roll, right? Cheers. I appreciate you all for tuning in. We have stocks to break down. We have charts to go over, and we have to go over, like you guys saw, SoFi. We're going to cover the charts, what's going on here, and we'll break down overall other stocks I'm looking at, the indices, the metals, what's going on so far today, as it is about 1:15 p.m. on the East Coast, so we're a little bit over halfway done the day here. So guys, let's get into it. Hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. Join the Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, see how I'm managing my money right now. And if you want to be a part of the private Discord, that's linked down below. Also pinned in the comments. I'll see you guys in there. And now let's get into it. So SoFi is up about 1.1% right now, trading at $18.40 as the entire market is up as well. Finally, some green out there, guys. The Qs are up over 1%, and the S&P about 0.75% as the Dow's up 0.9 and the Russell's up 1.1%. So the Qs and the Russell over 1%. Dow is almost there as the S&P's up 0.75%. Very, very nice start to the day here. Not even a start to the day. I mean, we're almost done the day, guys. We're slowly wrapping up. And with this price action, it's consistent to what we've been seeing. Up one day, down the next. Up one day, down the next. That's the price action we've been seeing here, and you see it on SPY. We're digging ourselves deeper into the wedge with this price action after yesterday's dump off, and the day before that we saw a pop, So it's a whipsawing market, like we've been saying over the last couple of videos. And at this point, if we're looking at the very short term on SPY, and we'll take a look at the Qs in a second, we are trading in a sideways channel, if you will, in the very short term, right? You guys see SPY all week, and the end of last week was bouncing around 680 to about 690. That's where we're at now. We held that range yesterday on Monday, and today, Tuesday, we're bouncing in here as well. I think, hey, ultimately, if SPY could take out 690, that would be bullish, but I'm not too convinced we're going to do that yet, based on the price action here. But I'm going to set my alert at $690 per share. Let me do that now. Mark is at or above 690. And let me pull up the Qs, triple Q here. Same thing, man. Trading in a wedge. But then if you look at the very short term, we're trading sideways between 600 as support, which we held today and yesterday, and resistance at about 610, 609, 610. So we're there now. The Qs are testing 608, 609 right now, which we got hit there yesterday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, you name it. So if we're able to get through 610, I think there's a wide open gap to fill up to 616, 617. And of course, that all comes down to Nvidia's earnings tomorrow. It all comes down to their earnings, which are after the bell. And the entire market, especially, look, not the entire market, considering how you've heard a lot recently how the Mag 7's been slowing down and the other 493, they've been catching up, right? So not the entire market will go down, or, it's not the entire market riding on Nvidia, because look, energy's been doing well in the face of Nvidia being down. What else? You name it, consumer staples, a lot of these defensive stocks have been doing well. So even if Nvidia, let's say, goes down 6%, like we saw in the options market. I don't know if I covered that in this on YouTube, but the options market's projecting, if I could talk today, it's the triple espresso, guys. Cheers. But the options market's projecting a 6% move in either direction. So even if Nvidia went down 6%, are energy stocks going to crash? Are these defensive names going to go down? If anything, they might go up. You know what I mean? If anything, they might go higher. So it's not the entire market riding on Nvidia, but it is obviously the Qs, tech, AI. That trade is riding on Nvidia right now. And if that stock does well, which I'm in the stock, it's my biggest individual stock holding. If it does well, I think we're going to go on the Qs to 618. That gap's going to fill. Then ultimately we will take that out, in my opinion. So keep that in mind. And then going over here to SoFi. SoFi at this point broke a critical support yesterday, was it? Yeah, that was yesterday. We had a rough day, as did the entire market. We had a terrible day. SoFi got down to $17.50 after opening almost at $19. That was a 6% drop there from the opening price to the lowest price of the day. And from that point, SoFi now it's up 1.3%. So we have seen a little rally off that point, or from that point, but we're seeing here we're still under 1850, which again, that's the support. It was the support in this descending triangle. So we broke through that yesterday. We're now struggling to get back over it. That's not a good sign. And until SoFi could break over 1850, 19, 20 bucks a share, which we're nowhere near that, the bears are going to be in charge. So keep your eyes on 1850. That's going to be a battleground for the stock, probably for the rest of the day, for sure for the next couple hours and tomorrow as well. So if SoFi gets clearly rejected at 1850, which we did actually at 1860 this morning. We saw a nice relief rally, or not even, whatever you want to call it. We saw a rally from 1790, which is where we opened roughly. We saw a rally up to about 1870, 1860. Nice rally, by the way, but we got rejected, and the stock got down to about 1830. Now we're trying to fight and claw our way back to the mid-18s. So if SoFi, pay attention to the price action over the next couple hours into close. If SoFi fails to break through, even 1850 to 1855, and it starts to slip into close, that would be bad for the bulls. And actually, that's what I think is going to happen here. I really do. And for me, guys, I'm long. I'm holding on tight, but I haven't added more yet. I'm waiting. I'm playing the patience game here. And quite frankly, I don't need to add more. This is a stock that I built. I took some profits. I still have a good chunk going. And it's like I want to add more, but there's no need to rush it. And I think we'll get it's already at a good price, you could argue. But I think we're coming lower here. So I'm being very patient. We touched 1750 like I predicted, right? I have a buy order at 17. Maybe I'm being greedy, or maybe I'm sticking to my price targets. What do you guys think? But that's what I'm doing as of right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. We got to watch 1850. Like I said, that's the battleground spot, the price that you need to watch in the short term. Let's see what else is moving. It looks like we're getting some relief in some software names today, which I'm not touching these with a 10-foot pole. Adobe's up 3.5%, and not that they're bad companies, right? But God knows how much lower they can go before they recover, with everything going on now with AI, the fears around AI. Yeah, it's real. Even though I don't think CRM's going to be just displaced in the matter of a quarter or two, like the stock's pricing in. But what the stock's pricing in right now, guys, is the long-term potential threat to the company. Because you got to realize, when stocks are being priced, all the available information is, being priced into these stocks. And when people are modeling out figures, or DCFs, when they're running financial models 5-10 years out, they're using different rates, right, to project the future cash flows of the company, revenues, profits, you know what I mean? The terminal value, right? They're using these different metrics, and when the future growth of a company is now in jeopardy, or it could be a lot lower than previously anticipated, guess what? The numbers get cut. Guess what? Those projections go down. You have to redo your model, and it spits out a different number of where these stocks are going to be in 5 to 10 years based on the cash flows, based on, everything we just mentioned. So that is why we're getting an insane re-rate on these stocks. One of the big reasons, right, is it's because, maybe CRM's not going to be growing whatever it's growing, projected to grow in 5 years. AI could displace the company by then. AI could take a huge chunk of their lunch. Their moat is being eaten right now. These are all things that are bringing down the stock price. And again, what I'm saying here regarding the financial models, terminal value, the different rates and metrics, to keep it in layman's terms, that people use to run these models, these numbers are changing, guys. The future assumptions are changing, bringing down the current price. Now, is it 100% accurate or not accurate, but is this warranted? Is this an overreaction? Maybe them bringing down their assumptions, maybe they're bringing down their assumptions too much, the analysts. Maybe you shouldn't cut the projections for future cash flow, revenue, profit as much as you have. And maybe there is value here. Maybe this has come down too much, and CRM snaps back to 210 after earnings, for example. I don't know. But for me, too much unknowns right now. Too much unknowns, and I'm staying out of these names. I don't want to chase these stocks. I really don't. But I'm definitely watching their earnings. CRM, they're tomorrow on the 25th after the bell. I think Adobe, when the heck are their numbers? Their numbers are on the 12th of March. So we have some time on Adobe, about 2-3 weeks. And Adobe, funny enough, man, used to be a stock that I was super interested in buying. I mean, if you guys have been watching my channel for a couple of years now, or not even a couple of years, more than that, you know that I was talking about Adobe. We're talking years ago. I started YouTube in 2017, so I was talking about it in 2018, 19, 2020 when it was running like crazy, right? And I was like, guys, I missed Adobe, right? I love the company, love the products, and the stock tanked, right? It saw a huge crash in 2022, and that's when I was considering adding, right? But I didn't, as I started seeing AI coming out, ChatGPT, right? All these different AI models where you can just type in whatever and it spits out a picture. And obviously, look, it wasn't as good as it was in 23 as it is now, right? In 2026, I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't even need Adobe. And the funny thing is, I do pay $30 a month to Adobe. I do use it a little bit here and there, but not nearly as much as I was when I first started on YouTube. I was using it all the time. Photoshop every day, an hour or two a day. But now literally I'm on Photoshop maybe once a week, and I'm using these. I've essentially, for YouTube, created a bunch of different thumbnail templates, and now I can just run them through Grok or Gemini or any AI and be like, create this into a thumbnail for me. Do this, make this tweak, do that. And it does it way better than I could have in Photoshop, So I think Photoshop, Adobe, a lot of the casual, I'd consider myself a casual photo editor, somebody that does the basic crap just to get a thumbnail. People like me, we're all going to go away soon. That's the reality. I mean, look, I don't even need Adobe Photoshop at this point, really. I just keep it as a business expense because I run an internet business, so I don't really have many expenses. I do. I mean, look, it's $20 a month, whatever. But eventually I could cancel this, right? And that's the threat here. AI is a serious threat, and the people that are more advanced, yes, they're going to keep Adobe. They're going to use the products, they're going to use Photoshop, and they're going to use the generative AI that's in there, and kind of use it along with their skills. But again, the people that are casual like me, yeah, we're going to drop off slowly. And it's a real threat to the company. AI is a huge threat. So that's why, I don't know why I got into this tangent here, but I guess it's relevant. But that's why I never bought back into the stock, because when I initially wanted to own it, and it's all about timing and the narrative during that time. Back in 2018-19, nobody was touching Adobe. The recurring revenue was growing. All the metrics were looking phenomenal for software. This stock was growing like crazy. At that time, you could have bought it at any time and made money. But the narrative now is not in Adobe's favor. It's not 18, 19, 2020 anymore. And I noticed that in 2022, 2023, and that's why I never bought in. You know, it was a different time, and it's all about narrative. You have to keep an eye on the market. And if you noticed AI, right, popping up back then a couple of years ago, wasn't too long ago, you saw the threat and you could have avoided Adobe. But a lot of people did get sucked into it here in the 500s, 400s, 600s. And to be honest, man, I don't know if it gets back there anytime soon. You know, it's down 50 to 60% from that high, and for it to get back there now, it needs to go up 150 to 175%. In what world, in this environment, with this narrative, is Adobe going to go that high? You know, unless again it happens in 5-10 years, it could, but man, I would bet the other side of that in 5-10 years, Adobe might be a lot worse off than it is today. I think, in fact, man, Adobe could be a dinosaur company by then. And, you know, it's still going to be around, no doubt. But I don't know. I feel like the stock could be in trouble. And I'm going to end it there. You know, we're rambling a little too much here, guys. Maybe it's that triple shot. I don't know. And it's only halfway done. So I got some more, drinking to do here, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in. And make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content. Hit the like button as well. And check out the Patreon for my portfolio updates, my private Discord. All that is linked down below. Also pinned in the comments. Or go to stocksurfs.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.